When I first learned that my ex-husband had been leading a double life and that I was completely clueless, well, I felt stupid. I felt like the biggest moron on the planet. How in the world, A, did I fall in love with this man? And then B, did I not suspect that any of this was going on? But I'm smart, I kept thinking, reflecting back on my accomplishments and my scholastic record as though my grade in algebra has anything at all to do with how I am in a marriage. But I simply couldn't understand how somebody so smart in so many areas could be so dumb when it comes to love. So what I'm going to give you today are some explanations of why smart people are often dumb when it comes to love. The first of those is simple biology. No matter what your IQ is, no matter how accomplished you are still subject to the addictive nature of love. Our biochemistry has evolved to prompt us to have connections with people. We get that little dopamine rush every time we see that person. That oxytocin helps us bond. And so it's an addiction, just like any other. And just like any addiction, well, it can make you blind to a lot of things. You crave it, you want it, and you often aren't thinking rationally about it. Smart people set goals for themselves, and they are used to achieving them. And sometimes what happens is we get so caught up on those goals that, well, we stop paying attention to some of the details that maybe we should. So maybe that goal was to be married by a certain point, or maybe it's once you're married, your goal was to never be divorced or to never be cheated on or whatever it is. And so we just keep going. We keep trudging forward kind of with those blinders on because, well, that's what we're used to doing. Smart people have high expectations of themselves and they expect the same of others. And so because of that, sometimes we see the best in people, even when maybe we shouldn't. So that can be difficult because we expect others to act in the same way that we do, to be as rational as we are, to be as mature and thoughtful about choices as we are, to weigh the pros and cons like we would. But not everybody is that way. And sometimes that's hard to accept. Smart people adapt to their environments. Regardless of what that environment is, they are good at being flexible, being malleable, and adjusting to whatever the environment calls for, which sometimes is a wonderful trait to have. But sometimes it's not so good. Like if you're in a toxic relationship and you become very good at adapting to that. Smart people often trust their brains more than they trust their guts. And the problem with that is if you're with somebody who is manipulative and is an adept liar, well, they can become very, very skilled at telling your brain what it wants to hear. And so you rationalize things, you believe things, even while your gut is going, something here feels a little bit off. But it's very easy for you to go, oh, gut, hush. You don't know anything. I know what I'm seeing. But sometimes your brain is off and your gut is right. Smart people can fall prey to the sunk cost fallacy because they don't like to quit. So the sunk cost fallacy is basically that once we've invested a certain amount of time or energy or money into something, we don't want to quit that because we've already invested so much into it. And we do that. Smart people can still fall prey to that mindset. We don't like to be quitters. We're like, we're already invested. We're already in it this much. I know I can make this work. But sometimes walking away is the smartest choice. But I have some good news for you. If you're a smart person who's often been dumb in love and you're feeling kind of discouraged about that, the good news is this: smart people, they learn from their mistakes.